elements in a form which are related. So when we take the Cartesian product of the two sets, so Cartesian product is simply the combination of ordered pair. For example, if I take a set, this is how a set is written. A set is, say, content are 1, 2, these are the elements. This set B is x, y. Now you see, how do I do A cross B? Because relation function, all they are coming from this A cross B only. What I am trying to do is 1 with x, ordered pair, 1, x. Then with 1 and y, I am not multiplying it. I am just writing the ordered pair. So 1x, 1y. Now 1 is done. Now 2. 2x, 2y. 2x and 2y. Okay. So this is the ordered pair. This is the Cartesian product. So the relation will come out of this only. The function will come out of this only. Okay. Relation will always have some sentence. For example, A is greater than B. In this A cross B, find out ordered pair where A is greater than B, or say one is less than other. So our relation is a subset of this A cross B. Relation will come out from this only. Say if there are 100 elements here, ordered pair, 5 or 6 will come in some relation. 20 can come in some relation. Okay. What is the domain? What is the range? In this relation, there is no problem to understand. Domain is always the first one. In ordered pair, the first element is domain. That is, we have 1, 2. So 1 and 2 are domain. Okay. And the range is the second element of the ordered pair. What are the second element of the ordered pair? X and Y. So x and y are our range. Okay. This will be different when we talk about function. We'll talk about that in a later discussion. But right now, domain is first member. The range is second member. So as I said, relation will come always like this in ordered pair. What are the ordered pairs in this A cross B where x is greater than y, or A is greater than B, first member is greater than B, or first is divisible by second, like this. So in these all A cross B, some of them will come. So what are the different type of relations which can come? Word relation. So word relation is basically the relation is called void or empty relation. If we are talking about a set A. So if A is a set, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you will understand relation also. So relation is what? Because relation will have some or the other condition. Relation is basically a condition. So relation is here. We want to find out ordered pair like A, B, where A minus B equals 12. Now you take any of these, A as anyone and B is any of the element. So just take anyone, 3 minus 4, or say 5 minus 4, or say 5 minus 1. Are you getting 12? You won't get 12 anywhere, anytime. In any of the combination of any of the two elements you take at a time, you won't get 12. So the result is 5. So the relation is 5. The relation will not contain anything. Universal relation is what? It's a total A cross B or A cross A. So this is what, when we multiply, this is universal product is a Cartesian product. That is all the Cartesian product element ordered pair is your what? Universal set. Universal relation. What is an identity relation? Identity relation, we'll talk about that also. That is somewhat related to reflexive relation. Identity relation, if A is a set, then identity is simply defined by, see, 1, 2, 3 is set, 1, 2, 3, another is same set. So 1 is related to 1, 2 is related to 2, 3 is related to 3. That is, A is related to A if A belongs to set A. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So 1, 1, 2, if I am taking A set as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 is there. But because 1, 1, 2, 2, is it a identity relation? No, because 3, 3 is not there. So in order to understand the equivalence relation, I am taking you forward to the equivalence relation concept. So in order to understand the equivalence relation, we need to know about three relations. One is reflexive, the other is symmetric, and third one is transitive relation. So reflexive relation is what? Reflexive relation, a relation R on set A is said to be reflexive if every element of A is related to itself. What do it mean? What does it mean? See, if R is a reflexive or it is a reflexive relation, then A, that should also belong to that relation. If A is belonging to that, say set A comma A should belong to a relation. Please understand, A is belonging to a set, A comma A is belonging to the relation. Then that relation is going to be reflexive relation. Let us take an example. This is 1 comma 2 comma 3 is our set. Now the relation I am talking about, say it is, now you have to tell me whether this relation is reflexive or not on set A, 1 2 3. So 1 1, because relation are nothing but ordered pairs. So 1 1 2 2 3 3 1 3 2 comma 1. Is it a reflexive relation? Yes, it is, because every A should be related to A. So 1 1 2 2 3 3. Other things doesn't matter. It is A comma A should belong to relation. What other thing is there, we are not worried about. But A comma A should be there. 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3 should be there in this relation. Therefore, it is this is a reflexive relation, right? And now coming to the second part of a relation, which is symmetric relation. What is a symmetric relation? See, symmetric relation I am talking about. So symmetric is a relation R on a set A said to be symmetric relation if and only if A comma B belongs to R implies B comma A also belongs to R. For a relation on a set A, if A comma B is belonging to a relation, then B, it should imply, this is if and only if B comma A should also be in relation. Okay? If A is related to B, then B has to be related to A. That is, A, B and B, A should be there in the relation. Now I am taking example. Say for example, you have a set 1, 2, 3, 4. Always a relation will always be on a set. This is the Cartesian product, and relation will come from the Cartesian product only, which I earlier explained you. Now let me take a relation R1, and this is 1, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 2, 2 and 4, 1. So now you have to tell me whether this is a symmetric relation or not. Now you see here, you just have to see first and second member. You must see second and first member. That is, A and B is belonging to R. B and A should also belong to R. If AB is there in a relation, BA should also be there. So 1 3 is there, 3 1 is also there. 1 4 is there, 4 1 is also there. 2 2 also falls in this category, because 2 2. Assume 2 to be A and assume 2 to be B. First 2 as A, first 2 is B. So BA is also there, because 2 2 2 2 both are same. Okay. So this is 1 1 2 2. I am taking one more. Okay, 1 1 2 2 3 3 1 3. Now this is another relation 2. Now tell me whether it is symmetric or not. As I explained you just now, 2 2 is a symmetric one, because A and B, if you assume, it will be BA. But when you have in this relation 2, 1 3, 1 1 2 2 3 3, by our logic it is okay. But 1 3 is there, you need to find out 3 1 also here. 1 3 is there, 3 1 is not there. So it is not a symmetric. Second one is not symmetric. Next we are talking about is a transitive relation. Transitive relation. So let A be any set, a relation R on A is said to be a transitive relation if and only if A belongs to R and B belongs to R, BC belongs to R, AC should also belong to R. For all ABC, that has to belong to a set A. Again we have to have a set. Again we have to have a relation. A relation is certain condition which will fit and that those content of A cross B will take. So if A comma B is belonging to this R, this ordered pair is there, AB, and B comma C, this is also an ordered pair which is belonging to that relation R. So AC should also be there. If AB is there, BC is there, AC should also be there. This is the transitivity. Okay. Okay. If I have some example, I'll just have an example. So I would advise you to have a book in front of you so that you can, whenever I'm doing, you are able to go along with this. I'm taking the page number 1.5. Okay. So I'm reading up the question, this illustration. On the set n of natural number, the relation R is defined by x, R, y, where x is less than y. As I already told you, relation will always have some condition. It is basically a condition. So x is less than y is transitive. Now, if x is less than y, this x and y are the ordered pair in the relation. So if x is less than y and if y is less than z, That is, AB is belonging to R, BC is belonging to R, AB is belonging to R, ABC is also belonging to R. So AC should belong to R, right? So if X is less than Y, X, that is, for example, 1 is less than 2 and 2 is less than 3, 1 is less than 3. So X or Z, 1 and 3 are X and Z here. Y is your 2. So 1 is less than 3. So this is transitive also. Okay. So let us, when we are talking about symmetric, we need to talk about anti-symmetric also. Anti-symmetric has a very small definition. If you understand symmetric, you will be able to understand anti-symmetric also. Anti-symmetric is saying, because this symmetric transitivity and reflexivity will give you equivalence relation. So I'll just adding one more thing to symmetric, that is the anti-symmetric relation. Now if A and B is belonging to R, we just said that, and the BA should also be coming to R. But in anti-symmetric, if AB belong to R and BA belong to R, A should be equal to B. I hope you got the idea. In symmetric, we called AB belonging to R, BA should also belong to R. But in symmetricity, anti-symmetricity, we are saying AB belonging to R, A also belonging to R. That means A and B should be equal. So we are talking about 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Okay. And this will be more clear when, see, we are dealing with number here, but when we'll be dealing with some expression, some say 2x minus y, comma 4y minus z, this kind of ordered pair. Then the anti-symmetry relationship, that means you have to equate those two. Okay. So what we talked about, again, equivalence relation are those which are reflexive, symmetric and transitive, and that we are going to discuss. Okay. And I guess that, so we have talked about reflexive, symmetric and transitive. So these three relations, if combined together, they will come together as a common relation that is called as reflexive, symmetric, transitive equivalence relation. Reflexive means that is every element should be related to itself. If we are talking about a relation on a set A, then A comma A is belonging to that set A. So A comma A should also be, that ordered pair of A should be in relation R. Reflexive. Second one we discussed was symmetric. Symmetric was again for set A, the ordered pair of a relation. If A is related to B, that is A comma B, this ordered pair is in that relationship, then B comma A should also be there in that relation. This is symmetricity. Symmetric means AB belongs to R, BA should also belongs to R. Third one was transitive. And transitive means what? It's if A and B belongs to this relation R on a set A, and B and C, I'm saying and B and C is also belonging to R, then A and C should also belong to R. This should also belong to that relation. So I'm just adding all these three and calling them as an equivalence relation. So a relation R on a set is said to be an equivalence relation on set A if and only if it is reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Reflexive, symmetric and transitive, this is called as equivalence relation. If you go to computer science later on in your life, then in DBMS, database management system, the equivalence classes are being formed and they have the same concept. Okay. Now let us take one of the question so that we understand what exactly equivalence relation mean. How do we prove it? For sure, we are going to see it in the numericals which are coming up. But in order to complete the theory, I have to take one example. So we have, if you take the book of R.D. Sharma, this is, I cannot write the question because, again, copyright issue can come. So I'll just say that question. There are two questions, 1.13, that is in relation, we have example 2 and example 3. and they both can be solved in a similar way. So we have two questions. One is saying show that a relation is congruent to, the relation is congruent to on the set of all triangles in our plane is an equivalence relation. This is one of the question. Second question is show that the relation R defined on set A of all triangles in a plane as R. The relation, as I said, a relation is always a condition. So relation is given by T1 comma T2 and colon T1 is similar to T2. You can also add T1 is congruent to T2. So the example 2 and 3, they are all almost similar. So we have to prove that this relation is an equivalence relation. So how do we go about this? How do we do this? We have to show it to be an equivalence relation. For that, we have to prove that it is reflexive, symmetric and transitive. So two triangles, we are talking about multiple triangles in a set. And these triangles, if we take two of them, they have some relation. And if the relation is symmetric, reflexive and transitive, then we call that this particular relation, which is saying that T1 comma T2, when T1 is similar to T2 or T1 is congruent to T2, is equivalence relation. So let us start with the reflexivity. Now congruent or similar, we are taking this as almost the same thing. Congruent is basically exactly same. Means if you put one triangle on another, it should superimpose. And similar means this shape can change, means the size can change, shape should not change. That is, there are RHS, right hand, this right angle hypotenuse system, angle system, SAS. So there are so many ways to prove that the triangles are similar and congruent. So we are not going into that. Just assume that two triangle should look as it is. So coming to reflexivity. So what do you do in reflexivity? See, T1 and T2. So now since reflexivity, we are talking about one triangle. When one triangle, every triangle is similar to itself. Every triangle should be congruent to itself. If you are talking about one single triangle, it is reflexive because it is related to itself, it is similar to itself and it is congruent to itself. So it is reflexive. Now coming to symmetricity. So how this relation can be symmetric? Now we have to take two triangles at a time. So when we take two triangles at T1 comma T2, these are ordered pair of triangles. Now when say T1 is similar to T2, T2 have to be similar to T1, then only they both can be similar to each other. Similarly, when we say one triangle is congruent to another, the second triangle also have to be congruent to the previous one. So T1, T2 belongs to R, T2 comma T1 should also belong to R. Okay. So this is symmetric also. This relation is. So we have talked about reflexivity, symmetricity, and now let us talk about transitivity. What about transitivity? I am talking about both similarity also and congruency also. I am taking two examples because they are almost similar. Now coming to the third part. Third part is transitivity. So let us take T1, T2, T3. T1, T2, T3, there are three triangles now. But we have to take two at a time because we are in relation, we always talk about ordered pairs, two of them. So T1, T2. So when T1, T2 is belonging to a relation and also it is given, it is also said that T2 and T3 also belongs to that relation. That is, one triangle is similar to another. The second triangle is similar to the third one. That means what? T3, the third triangle has to be similar to T1, the first one. Okay. So T1, T3 has to be similar. That means if we take congruency also, one triangle is congruent to another, the another is congruent to the third one. So first has to be congruent to the third one. So transitivity also is proved here. This is also being checked. Okay. That means this R relation, which is congruent T1, T2, T1 is similar to T2 or T1 is congruent to T2, is an equivalence relationship. Okay, there are certain, when we are going to solve the problem, we need to have some theorem also that we are going to directly use. So let me just refer these theorems here. The theorem 1 which I am going to talk about is, if R, you can take it as A or B also. So if R and S are two equivalence relation on a set A, if R and S are two equivalence relation on set A, then R intersection S is also an equivalence relation. R is separately by itself an equivalence relation. S is by separately, individually it is an equivalence relation. So when we take the intersection of these two, this intersection has to be an equivalence relation. Second theorem is saying, again, R and S are two different sets, two different relations which are equivalence relation. But when you take R union S, it may be equivalent, it may not be equivalent. So it may be, it may not be. But R intersection, definitely it's going to be equivalence set. But R union S can be, it cannot be, we don't know. Third theorem, one more thing importance here is, that is, if R is an equivalence relation, if R is reflexive, symmetric and transitive, R inverse, we talked about R inverse in the previous discussion. So R inverse of that relation will always be an equivalence relation. I'm not proving it here, but we will be seeing it in the questions. Okay. So this is about your equivalence relation. Previously we talked about different kind of relation and we recapitulated also. Okay. So thank you so much. Take care of yourself.